session for School Track, which promises to be both informative and practical. It's an APJ education presentation on the topic of how education institutes can leapfrog the tech evolution curve via managed technical services. And the speaker for this session is Mr. Anand Arora, Head of ETS at Apeejay Education. Let's welcome Mr. Anand Arora to the stage with a round of applause.
Hi guys, my name is Anand Arora. Good morning to everyone. And I am from India, Gurugram to be specific from the city point of view. I am here to present on the topic how education institutes can leapfrog the tech evolution curve via managed technical services. The company that I work for is Apeejay Group. I'm sorry, please. Yeah? All right, perfect. So the company that I work for is Apeejay Group. I am pretty sure those from India would have heard of the name. We are present across 26 institutions across the country, both in schools and higher educations. And I work for a separate spin-off of the company, which is ETS. We call that as Education Technology Services. And this is part of Apeejay Group. We also work with Apeejay schools and colleges towards providing them various technology products and solutions. My background, I have around 16 years of experience in technology, products, and innovations. I'm basically a chemical engineer, though right now I'm working on software and all, another story. But, so yeah, I worked for companies like Pepsi, Unilever. After that, I started my own edtech firm, and now I'm working with Apeejay Groups towards steering their path towards the technological progress. So with that, I would like to start this presentation. Before I could talk about what managed technical services is, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it, but before we can actually get into the real core of the topic, I would like to start with a typical, this is a slide for a typical technology ecosystem for a tech-equipped education institute, be it a school or an institute or a higher education institute. This is how your technology ecosystem would look like if you are ahead in curve in technology, and if you have been using all sorts of technology for all your internal operations and external operations. However, you might be using more than that, and then that means that you are actually ahead of its curve. But this is all that is required to be at a bare minimum technical sophistication. So what are we talking about? Various vertebrae. Let's start with learning management solutions. Every institute, school, or college, I think, post-COVID has realized the importance of a learning management solutions. Most of the education before COVID was done in the class, mostly offline, people have been using blackboards, smartboards, etc., but it was a one-on-one education within the class. With the advent of technology, many learning management solutions have come up. What do these learning management solutions do? Most of them, you are able to create courses, classes, programs, seamlessly create an entire delivery of an entire offline education in an online product which you can give to your students, where they can actually access the courses, assignments, they can actually attempt tests, quizzes, etc., view their results, and do many more other things also, depending upon your curriculum operations. This is mostly the core of technology for all the education institutes that we are looking at. Second one is all about financial management solutions. Most of the schools, prior to digital, I would say, evolution, they were collecting fees. So, some of them were doing like from a hard, maintaining hard copy records, and then most of them were doing from, in softwares like Excel and all. But nowadays, there are softwares, seamless softwares, which have come in which you can actually access the entire fees data from parents and all in a one centralized system. You can actually generate payment links to parents. They can pay online. You can actually track which student have paid the fees or not, and you can eventually also send automated reminders. So such solutions actually become part of your core financial management solutions. And of course, you can go beyond that, like you can impactfully track a P&L for an entire organization, for your top management and also school principals who would like to look at it on a daily basis. So that would be number two. The third one, which has now gained significant importance, is an HR management solution. And I know that this is something which is a very sort of like a love and hate relationship, all about HR. But yeah, everything about attendance, and not students' attendance, employees' attendance, and leave system, payroll, all those things, which have been centrally integrated in a system. so that you can run your operations impactfully from a people management point of view. The fourth one, which is actually going to directly impact your top line, which is if you have an impactful lead management solutions. And the lead management solutions are not just CRMs where you can actually track your leads from online sources like Google, Facebook, etc., but also something that can automate the actions that your sales team is supposed to do. For example, if you have got a lead, a potential lead of a parent, are you sending them reminders about your program? Are you sending them reminders about your information? Are you sending about reminders about the important deadlines and events for admissions? So all this becomes part of a holistic 360-degree lead management solution. Then there are business process automation. Now this is a very big area in which many schools also have a school management systems where you can actually find approval systems, visitor attendance systems, and things like library management, vendor management, etc. This is mostly case-to-case basis, and it's mostly customizable depending on how your school's operations are. So we categorize under BPA, which is business process automation. And the heart of everything is IT infrastructure and cloud. I mean, it's both hardware, software, and the cloud on which your software sits on. This has gained a lot of importance eventually after COVID. Earlier, it used to be only hardware infrastructure, but now cloud has taken over most of the information, most of the documents for all the schools. I'm sure people are using things like Dropbox and all. Everything comes under cloud on that. So with that, I would like to start the real core of the presentation. Now you want to be a tech-evolved institution, and you want all of this in your school or a college. What are your sort of like avenues? What are you going to do? That's what the next slide talks about. So these are the most common engagement modes that we are talking about. 3 modes. Either you build your own solution. Second mode is you can buy an existing software or a solution, which is the entire world of SaaS. The third one, which is the interesting one we are going to talk about, is all about managed services. You don't build, you don't buy, you just leverage an existing managed service partner to do both of them for you. So when it comes to build, you'll have to think about the entire software, digital processes, automation, and you'll have to build everything in-house. It's usually done for a very complex use case. Most of those use cases are for organizations which are a huge scale and presence across more than around 10 to 20 multiple schools and colleges, because they would have that sort of bandwidth and also leverage and scale to justify an existence for a build model within the organization. In case of buy model, you're directly looking to buy a ready-made software or a SaaS solution, which exactly matches your need. And this has to be like, okay, I just need a video calling software for my students. Hey, you have got Zoom, you have got Google Meet, directly integrate them, and you got an impactful buy model. But this doesn't work for all the cases, because some of the use cases which have been fairly established in online education, like video calling and the live class model, you would have got a buy model for that, but there are many more complex use cases. In fact, from the student management system point of view, learning management system point of view, CRM point of view, where buy model would not possibly integrate each and every vertebrae that your operations are looking for. And that's where managed services come into play. You neither build, you never buy, you outsource everything to an IT service third-party vendor, which we call as a managed service provider, or in short form, MSP. And this is very recommended highly recommended when your company, when your organization, school, and institute is not playing tech at its core offering to a consumers, right? You are actually focusing only on academics. You're actually focusing only on curriculum. You're actually focusing only on the ethos of the real education or the real core that you are actually providing to your students. Technology can be an enabler for that, but you might not require to build that capability in your ecosystem. And why should you do that? It's not going to be your product. It's never going to be something that you are going out in market and sort of selling as a software kind of a service to company. Your entire core and your entire focus is all about growing your school, providing a quality education to your students. And that's where managed services comes into play beautifully, seamlessly, and cuts across both build and buy model. That's the core of this presentation. Now, before I talk about managed services in detail, I would like to touch upon both of these models, build and buy models. So in a build model, there is a myth that, you know what, I can build a software. It's just like, just hire a couple of developer. It will be a one-time launch, 3 months. I'll just make a, run this code and hey, it's done. Why do I need to buy a software? Why do I need to get to an IT vendor? But it's never like that. Trust me, I have actually done this for more than 6 to 7 years, scale technology teams, build technology teams, and I have learned this, I have actually educated myself from this myth that it's never a one-time exercise. It's a very, very continuous activity because we are not only talking about a core tech team, we are talking about IT infrastructure, which is all about DevOps, quality assurance, and all terms that you would not like to know because it's not going to any which ways matter to your business. And you'll have to outsource this. If you're building a capability like this, you're looking at something like 10 to 20 more people and another investment of like say, $2 to $3 million for building something like that at a scale level. Of course, core tech team is never limited to one or two software engineers. Nowadays, tech stacks are so sophisticated and so complicated that you would need a different front-end team, a different back-end team, a different UI, UX, and a project management team. Front-end is anything which is mostly, consumer-facing, like a website, a web app. Back-end is the core of technology behind that front-end. So I'm just telling you the terms. Now, if you've got that, you'll also need to look at people who can implement these softwares in your organization. And you're talking about people who are really meticulous in terms of project planning, project management, people who can actually educate, school teachers, school employees, admin staff, and everyone to use this software on a regular basis, and also monitor for any issues and bugs. And that's where the entire internal adoption challenge comes in. Most of the softwares fail at this stage, which is this internal adoption stage. Most of the softwares never see the light after this because, it might actually look a very cool thing to actually build a very nice school management software. They have got around 100, 200 features, but sometimes they are so complex and not at all needed for your operations. So why actually take and go through the pain of training all those people when eventually after 1 year you realize nobody is using that particular feature or product? So that's one of the sidebacks for build model. Again, continuous development. Software never ends. Every 2 years, you have to come up with a new version. There's always a new technology in the market. The cloud technologies keep getting cheaper and cheaper. The scale keeps on increasing, and it's always going to be a regular work for you. And of course, the very important thing which we absolutely miss out is the bandwidth of business teams. Uh, you know, you are at a VP level, a chancellor level, or a school principal level. You are part of a leadership team. Why should your bandwidth or your time be hijacked into something which is not core of your operations? Why can't it be, more focused on management decisions on a regular basis? Think about the impactful quality of education that you are going to provide to your students. And that is where this entire premise of build model failed, because even if I take around 10% of a time for a senior leader to educate them on the software and what merits it is bringing, I'm actually taking a huge amount of productivity from an ROI perspective, because that senior leader is able to deliver much more growth in that 10% kind of a time. So it's something that people realize over a period of time that, hey, you know what, I am going to spend a lot of time on this, I don't want it. Get me somebody who can actually look at it from a daily basis point of view. Quickly on the buy model, of course, the challenge of internal adoption always stays. Implementation never goes. So even if you buy a SaaS product, you will need people, product managers, project managers, who will have to implement it across your organization. That itself becomes an additional cost. Merit is the initial cost reduction for sure. You don't have to build the product. You don't have to spend so much time to build the product. Your 4 to 5 months are saved. You're like, just buy the model, click, and just adopt it internally and just launch it on the next day. One more challenge which particularly people are, they actually tend to realize after they have purchased a lot of SaaS products is the entire portfolio management side of it. Sometimes you keep on buying and buying software for every small needs of yours, and after 2 years, you realize that your Excel of buy model is something like a 70 to 80 items. And then you work on a portfolio optimization project where you have to optimize the entire software. I don't need this. Maybe can I club 4 softwares into one? And then you have realized, okay, I think this is going to be a lifelong exercise and I'm going to be stuck on it. So that becomes a challenge, but some companies really impactfully do it well. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's challenge for companies where tech is not a core, and also, like I said, it's not a core business of that organization. Of course, it gives database flexibility. I mean, you can scale it, you can actually integrate it, you can potentially integrate it with your current softwares that you are using, again, with the help of a product manager, an implementation team, and again, the portfolio management kicks in. I already spoke about faster deployment for this build model. Now comes the managed services. What does it do? It actually gives you best of both the models, both buy and build models, and it gives you a better ROI in time and money. Because it actually enables your core team, your business team, to focus only on your core business and growth. And you just give everything to your managed service partner. They take care of everything. So dev team, implementation team, IT infra, servers, internal adoption, no, you don't need it. Don't need to worry about it, not have to see a day of doing all these activities. Focus on your operations, talk to your MSP on a daily basis, and let him or her do the rest. And that's the core principle of an impactful managed service providing. So what is it all about? How does an MSP work? So let's talk about the technology delivery for the schools. The core premise is that we would like to eliminate distractions on a daily basis, on building a capability that's never required for a school or a college, because like I said, technology is not a capability, it's going to be an enabler for a growth. So why focus on it when you can actually hire an MSP partner for it? And here you're not just outsourcing the software development and SaaS implementation, but you're actually outsourcing the entire IT operations to an MSP. Now it's on MSP to use the particular software they would like to use. But they will take care of every need of yours. They will take care of the scale-up need, they will take care of scale-down needs. Cost might go up, cost might go down, but you don't have to worry about how it works. Typically, the way these contracts work are, there is an initial exercise where you'll talk to an MSP, they will do a rigorous technology assessment of your school, then there will be service level agreement, as you would have seen from with other vendors, they are signed. And then the third stage, which is very important, where MSP will work towards installing the necessary softwares and even hardwares. They might use either of these models, build or buy, but you don't have to worry about it because they are actually looking for your problem and they are going to solve your problem eventually. And this is how the problem is solved. Immediately after an MSP is onboarded, your back office services are implemented on regular basis. A dedicated team is assigned by MSP for all the queries and all the resolutions. You don't have to worry about bugs of softwares and whether they are been reporting on daily basis or not. Your MSP takes care of that. And eventually, it also gives you the relevant management dashboard for you to look at it on a regular basis to actually measure the impact of ROI on actually taking these kind of services. Some of the key advantages for managed services. First one, very important, is the access to latest technology. You don't have to ask your teams to look into latest trends and technologies, things like ChatGPT, DALL-E, things that are coming up. Your MSP is always aware of all these technologies, educating you on daily basis, providing you flexibility to choose from these technologies, basis your current status quo of the school and the technology curve at which it is, and just you don't have to worry about it. You get information on a daily basis. I already mentioned about scalability and flexibility. Why flexibility? Because at times your buy model or a build model might not adapt to the ongoing needs that your operation systems might have. Your operations might be at a stage A in year one, and they might actually eventually, you're doing a couple of productivity exercises and it reaches stage B, and suddenly all the build and buy softwares are not adapted to that stage. But if you have a handshake, you have a great agreement with an MSP partner, and you are keeping them aware of all the operational changes, and they're part of that entire journey with you, they automatically will do that entire change for you, where your entire time is, saved. Again, advanced customization. Uh, Not something that is not possible in build and buy model, which is like, I will adapt everything according to your needs. The most important point, I think this is where I'll drop my case, is the cost effectiveness. Uh, if you do an ROI calculation for, say, even a 3 to 5 years perspective on either of the build and buy model, and taking into account everything, your company's growth, the school's growth, and the sort of software that you are going to use in future, you'll always find a cost-effective equation when compared to MSP versus build and buy model. And this has been demonstrated, and it's a personal experience of our organization, which I'm going to share in the end. Again, data security and compliance, not at all your headache. GDPR, et cetera, everything is an MSP headache. You don't have to worry whether your systems will be hacked or not, and MSP is always going to take care of all these things. Now, this is what we did for Apeejay. These are the products that we have implemented in Apeejay's ecosystem of schools and colleges, which are 24 to 25 colleges and schools in India. And these are the sort of softwares which ETS has actually implemented. Starting from a learning management solution, which we have built an in-house learning management solution to take care of the regular LMS needs. Fees and billing software, which is particularly customized for only schools and colleges. It's a very, very sort of like a boutique solution. Eliminates all the distraction, just focuses on the parents, incoming of fees and management dashboards in terms of how your students grow, the students' number growth and revenue growth is coming up. And also an interesting feature, which is bank reconciliation. It will automatically track whether your payment has come or not and give you periodic reminders on collections, as well as even a Telegram automated message whether the fees has received or not. Then we have created a parents and teacher app for Apeejay, in which parents are able to see their students' progress over a period of time. Also, we are able to send them reminders on a daily basis in terms of fees collection or any eventual event that is coming up. And teachers are able to push a lot of things like attendance or picture of the day, something like that, which actually parents can view on a daily basis on their app. Then we have done a lot of workflows and automation. And what we have done is we have almost, I would say, 90 to 95% eliminated all the manual processes in Apeejay. And we have automated it through a range of softwares which we have custom designed, and sometimes we have also used a build model to actually implement these automation process. Then this is something we did. Many schools don't realize the importance of an event management solution, because schools have been doing most of the events on a Google Calendar, let's send a WhatsApp to parents and let's see if they can attend that event, and then keep on periodically calling them. We created a software which automated everything. Not only the event management calendar and a web app, but it also tracks whether the parent has received your link or not. And it also does that RSVP sort of a feature, and it also gives you a final analytics in terms of how many people are actually watching your event links or not, and how many people are going to attend it. And then you can actually optimize your event promotion in a way that will be more impactful from the analytics point of view. Again, design and digital media, we took a very different approach. Not only providing the sort of like a talent that is required for giving these kind of services, but we have also used a lot of automation softwares and solutions which have made providing these services much, much faster as compared to a traditional route of doing that. So that's where the entire promise of managed technical services comes into play. Be it software, be it hardware, don't build, don't buy, just talk to an impactful managed service providers. We are one of them. We are present in India. We have done work with the Apeejay and also started doing work with a couple of other schools and colleges. And yeah, we have learned that from our experience of more than 5 to 6 years that this is the best model to go for. Thank you very much. Yeah, please. Please, I'm so sorry. Question. Okay.
The calendar of dates and all, the academic calendar or the events activities calendar has to be fed manually into the system first. Then it will track.
Yes. We have even gone one stage further. You don't even have to feed anything. You just need to call one person who is actually sitting at an MSP, in our MSP unit, And they are doing everything for you, like
So
from the
we
date.
send our calendar to the head
Yes.
office or
Yes.
to the the tech team. They feed in the dates and data,
Yes.
and then the system automatically
Exactly. So the way
starts
it is
working on it.
happening is that they are just sending WhatsApp messages, and they are not even sending in a particular format. They are sending is like, "Hey Manish, tomorrow I am planning an event. This is the title of an event. This is the time of an event. Can you just promote this?" And we take care of everything rest. A web link is created. It's been shared, and you can you can share it with your parents. And if we have the access to that sort of a group, we share it, and we also provide you analytics in terms of whether these people are going to attend the event or not. Yeah.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question?
A bit.
Can you just tell me what does it that
So
was?
in my head, how it is working is that beginning of the year when our academic calendar is ready,
Yeah.
and that is the activity, everything like right from day one to the last day of the school.
Yes.
All that needs to be fed into the system, and the software then either reminds us or reminds you.
Yes.
Okay, 2 days later, or say we've got our parent orientation coming now for the
Yes.
new academic year, and the emails have to go, communication has to go to the concerned data
Exactly.
database.
Yes, so this is how it starts. So we take an entire Excel of the events, we take their dates, calendar, time, and all, and we also take which group this particular event needs to be sent. If it is a class-wise event or it's a segmented parents event, we feed that in our software, and it automatically creates an entire calendar solution for an year. But beyond that, if you have to do something extra, you can always send a WhatsApp for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Any other questions anybody has? All right. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Thank you very much.